First of all, it means a lot that you're here tonight. I really appreciate you coming here.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't mean to be a bummer. This is a comedy show. I'm a comedian. But my house burned down yesterday. That was the most studio audience response I've ever heard.
No, that's exactly what they. Yeah.
That was like a game show where it went to zero to bankrupt.
But that's.
It's really sad. I didn't know the producers asked me. They're like, "Are you sure you even want to do the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do this. This feels therapeutic. It also gave me something to focus on." And you're a great friend, Jimmy. You're a great man. I love you. I hope that's maybe too soon to say, but I love you. And
no, you can definitely say it to me. But I always said that, Pete, like if you want to go back or check in on anything, you said no, and I appreciate this because I think it shows everyone how strong everyone is right now during these times and what LA is going to come back. Yeah. And they're going to come back stronger.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just I hope I don't want to upset you any more than you are upset. But I mean,
no, I said to you when we talked in the hallway, I go, I'm going to come on, and he goes, that's going to be brave, and I go, Jimmy, I might cry, like it's totally possible that I might cry, but that's also okay, and it was really hard, and if you want to show what the house looked like,
I can show you. Yeah, this is pretty.
And by the way, there's a take that comedians have been doing that's like, hey, don't feel sorry for these people in the Palisades. They're all rich. I'm not rich, okay? I'm just not. And this is what my house looked like. It's a modest house that was on the ocean, brag. And
yeah.
And then this is what it looks like now. I made a post. Have you guys ever made a post on Instagram, and then you're not crying until you write the post, and you're like, I was crying so hard that it sounded like pulling a straw in and out of a fast food cup lid. I was like, I lost my home. I don't know where to go. And so that's how hard I was crying, and
But how do you process all of this and do this? And thank you for being this strong.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been joking about this, and there are a lot of very serious people in the world, and we live in 2025. And so there are going to be people with already the jokes that I've said making light of this that are going to be mad at me because they're going to go, hey, you're making fun of a tragedy too soon. My house burned down. I can tell jokes about this.
Yeah.
But so yesterday I was crying, and I just kept writing down jokes. And I was crying and writing down jokes.
Writing down jokes?
I was writing because once you're thinking about it, like, Jimmy, I'm very funny. And...
I know that. That's exactly right.
And
but this is what you do.
This is what I do. So last night at the Comedy Cellar, I actually took notes on stage, and I hope people don't think this is tasteless, but can I tell the jokes that I wrote? Yeah, okay. I learned something, Jimmy, that when your house burns down, dry January is over. Dude, I got so drunk. I was drinking like Prohibition is gonna start up again tomorrow. This is absolutely true. So yesterday, I was watching the CBS News. We're on NBC. Oh my God, I hate CBS.
No, you're okay.
No, they're good.
No, you can
good.
say it. You can say it.
But I was watching the CBS News, and the anchor was in front of my house, and he's like, some people are finding out right now that their home is burning by watching this broadcast. And I'm watching it with a friend, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's my house. And my friend goes, which one is your house? And I go, the orange one. Like, it used to be white, but now it's blaze orange. Like, dude, my house looked like the logo for a Guy Fieri restaurant. That's my house, Flavortown. I told you, I'm funny.
I appreciate you doing it.
So one of the things, this is insult to injury, but so I was in a relationship, and I lived in this neighborhood for 4 years, and so I met some of my best friends in this neighborhood. This is a sincere part. And then I met a lady, and I moved to Arizona for her, and it turned out to not work out. I wasn't the lid for her pot, or vice versa. So then my friends were like, oh, you're going through this breakup, why don't you move back into our house at the ocean? So I lived there for 1 month, it burned out. I know, it's terrible, right? But so I'm a single guy right now. And last night, there was a girl that, she was flirting with me, and I'm single. And she was like, my place or yours? And I was like, yours? Like,
It's not an option.
Yeah. I was like, I do not have a place. Like, you're not just a hookup. You're part of my plan.
Oh my gosh! Do you remember the first time we met? Because it's been we've been friends for a while.
We've been friends for a while. So I actually manifested meeting you, Jimmy, which restraining order. I was so a friend of mine told me to read the book The Secret, and I'm dyslexic or I have astigmatism, whatever it is, and so I watched The Secret on YouTube, and there's this part where it goes, "Now's the time that you should pause this program and wish for something unreasonable." And so I was like, all right, well, you discovered Nate Bargatze. You walked into the stand late at night and you saw him doing stand-up, and that's the lore. And I was like, okay, so if that could happen to Nate Bargatze, and then Jimmy saw him and loved him, maybe it could happen with me. And so I was like, I wish for that, and I wish that I go on The Tonight Show, and I wish that it goes really well, and then I wish that I get a standing ovation, because that seemed unreasonable, right? And then it was 4 days later, I get a call that I have a Tonight Show showcase. Your booker, Michael, I love you.
Yeah. It's like an audition for
an
the
audition.
Tonight.
And then, by the way, so Jimmy came to the showcase, and I was in the bar, and I was drinking whiskey because that's it's my work medicine. And and all of a sudden, Jimmy comes up to me, and he goes, hey, he's like, hey, Dave told me that you're on the show, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I'm sorry, that's an impression. Hey,
That's not. Why are you laughing?
He's like, it's not a good impression, the Roots. All you have to do a Jimmy impression is be slightly out of breath. Hey, I'm in a hurry. Hey, everybody, I gotta get across the crosswalk.
That's kind of the way I do it. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. You mean so much to me.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. But anyway, so you walked up to him and you were really nice, and you're the warmest person. Everybody always goes, "Is Jimmy the same person in real life?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's insane." And he was like, he's like, "Hi, Jimmy, nice to meet you." And I go, I just looked at you, and the first thing I said to you, I go, "The secret is real." And he goes, "Well, I don't know what to do with that, but I'll see you in the show." And yeah.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. And so in New York City, whenever there's a celebrity in the room, everybody's too cool for school. They don't want to acknowledge that one of their favorite celebrities, because you're beloved. And so you're in the room, and everybody's a little bit weird. So the first two people on the show bombed their faces off. And then Roy Wood Jr. was running his set for that night, and you came to check it out. And he basically warmed the crowd up he teed it up for me. And then I'm doing my set, and the crowd's still a little weird. They're like, "Jimmy's here, we love him." And then I told a joke. I go, I never want to offend anybody. Like the other day, this guy sneezed, and I want to say bless you, but instead I go, "Happy holidays." And Jimmy stands up and he goes, "Yes!" He goes, "I love this guy." And I was like, "I love you too, Jimmy," or I don't know what to call it, sir. And I wanted to tell you, because I'm a huge fan of The Tonight Show over history. Like, I've read books on it, I've been to museums, and I want to say I love your Tonight Show. But instead I go, "I love your impulse control." And you go, "Thanks, I don't have any." And then you walked up to me right after I got off stage, and you invited me on the show, and it changed my life. My agent at the time fired me a week before that showcase, and then because of you, I got with CAA, and it changed my whole career, and now I'm touring, and I'm selling out venues, and you changed my life, Jimmy. Thank you.
I love you, bud. I love you, bud.
Thank you. Yeah.
You make our show. Comedians make our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're one of my favorites. Thank you for being here. Pete Lee, everybody! Check out his Ready to Connect tour. Pete is doing stand-up. When we come back, stick around, everybody.
Hey, hey.